1. Clarissa Sparrow's tart sucre. 1 pound all-purpose flour, 8 ounces chilled unsalted butter, 3 ounces chilled white vegetable shortening, 1 large egg plus iced water to make a total of 2 cups, 2 teaspoons salt, 1/4 teaspoon sugar. Using a large fork, combine flour, butter, and shortening into an oatmeal consistency. Add salt, sugar, and liquid. Work lightly with hands into a ball. Roll out. Cut into a circle sufficient to cover a 9-inch tart pan. Sprinkle with 1/2 cup coarse unprocessed sugar. Bake in a preheated 425-degree oven until evenly browned. Of course, both Edmund and I have been married before, Quill, Rose Ellen Whitman said in her soft, whispery voice. So we don't want a really white sort of wedding, if you understand me. I think so, Sara Quilliam said. Somebody must have told Rose Ellen Whitman she looked like Audrey Hepburn. Quill thought she did, sort of. She had very dark hair drawn into a simple bun. Her eyes were dark, doe-like, and long-lashed. The illusion was enhanced by Rose Ellen's preference for elegant sheath dresses, high heels, and a string of very good pearls. Rose Ellen's boutique, Elegant Antiques, was the newest addition to the Hemlock Falls shops on Main Street. The prices had astonished the village. The fact that her first shipment flew out of the store purchased by hordes of eager tourists had astonished the village even more. Quill, her sister Meg, and Clarissa Sparrow, the newly appointed director of the Bon Goûter Culinary Academy, were in a meeting to help Rose Ellen with her wedding to Edmund Tree. The wedding would be held 2 days after Edmund taped an episode of Your Ancestor's Attic, which was going to be produced in the Hemlock Falls High School auditorium for the first time ever. The wedding itself was to be at Quill and Meg's 27-room hotel, the Inn at Hemlock Falls. The inn didn't have enough room to handle the reception for the Tree-Whitman wedding, so the party had to be held elsewhere. The beautiful old stone inn sat across the Hemlock Gorge from Clarissa's Bon Goûter Culinary Academy. Rose Ellen had hired Clarissa Sparrow and the Academy's vast dining room to cater a reception for 300 guests. The 4 women sat at a round table made of aged oak in the lavishly appointed wine cellar that housed the Academy's collection of New York State wines. After the death of her husband in that same wine cellar some weeks before, Madame Levaque had decided the best way to keep the ghoulishly curious hordes out of the wine cellar and back in the gift shop, spending money, was to assign another function to the space. So it became the conference room. Quill, who was sensitive to atmosphere, had been a little unnerved throughout the planning of the wedding, and not just because the wine cellar had briefly housed a corpse. Meg was her much-loved sister. Clarissa was her best friend, and no matter how you looked at it, 2 young, ambitious gourmet chefs in the same small town were bound to be competitive. So far, the discussion between her volatile sister and Clarissa had been edgy yet polite, but Quill wasn't about to relax just yet. Rose Ellen was a natural-born nitpicker, and the meeting was running on way too long. The monthly meeting of the Hemlock Falls Chamber of Commerce would start in less than an hour. She'd been chamber secretary for more years than she wanted to count, and she hadn't been on time to a chamber meeting yet. It wasn't a record she was particularly proud of. Nothing truly formal, but elegant, if you see what I mean, Rose Ellen continued. Which is why I've arranged for the wedding itself to be at Quill and Meg's Inn, Clarissa. Claire's nostrils flared, but she didn't rise to the inference that the Bon Goûter's Culinary Academy was short on elegance. The inn's kitchen is far too under-equipped, of course, which is why I'm having the reception here. Meg scowled. Quill dropped her pencil on the floor so she would have an excuse to duck under the table and take a look at Meg's socks. The socks were a fair indicator of her sister's temper. Today's pair was black, with a 4-color Mickey Mouse pattern, which might be a reflection of Meg's opinion of Rose Ellen Whitman, but maybe not. I think you've made very smart decisions, Clarissa said, with a set smile. She hadn't been Bon Goûter's director very long, only a few weeks, but the job clearly suited her.